What's up? What's up? So, you don't have to spend 20 hours a week if you want to drop body fat. I was literally 50 pounds overweight just about 2 months ago, and I managed to cut that body fat with minimal effort. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I do not want to waste my time doing things that are unnecessary. When I go after what I want, I like to be as efficient as possible. If your situation is anything like my situation, long hours at work, relationships taking all your energy, everyone wants you to go to all these social events, your whole day and all your energy is going to everyone else. And it probably shouldn't be like that, should it? And that's probably why getting in shape makes such a difference. It's because you go from focusing on all of these externals and focusing on everybody else, and you take your energy back and then you invest it into yourself, and then you become better, and as a result, your life becomes better. And that's why I really wanted to share what I learned and what I did with other people, because I'm sure there's plenty of other guys out there that are in similar situations, right? I'm not the only guy out there with a job, with a bunch of people trying to steal my energy, and became overweight as a result of that. So I just felt like if I shared what I knew with other people, with guys like you, then in a sense, it's almost like I'm helping out myself. So that's kind of why I wanted to do that. And so I'm just going to tell you what I did. So the biggest thing and one of the most important changes that I made outside of the diet and that type of stuff, it was just the mental shift. It was going from giving my energy to everybody else and putting everybody else first to putting myself first. And a lot of people are going to tell you that's selfish. And realistically, I don't care if it's selfish or not. It's what needed to be done, and that's what got done. And I'm pretty sure for a lot of you guys, you probably need to start being selfish too, right? Because the thing is that, especially as a man, when you give your time, energy, and attention away for free, people don't respect it. They take advantage. They view you as a joke. And it's like, why should you take all of that disrespect? Why should you burn off all your energy just for people to be unappreciative? It's basically a slap in the face, right? So you gotta keep your guard up, basically, right? So again, it's the mental shift. Put yourself first. And when I say put yourself first, I don't just mean you need to start focusing. I'm not just saying that because it's something nice to say. I genuinely mean that. So when I say first, right? Because let's talk about, obviously the reason why you're on this video is because you're interested in losing body fat. And when I say putting yourself first, I'm talking about putting your goals first as well. I'm talking about putting what you want first, right? So if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is get ready for work and you go to work, right? That's putting your job first. I know you need money to live, but again, it's the order of what you do. It's the order of where you place things. Because if the first thing I do when I get up isn't go to work, if the first thing I do when I get up is I go for a walk, or I figure out what meals I want to eat today, or even if I just reflect and start thinking about my fitness goals and what I want to do for the week or what I want to do for the day, that's putting myself first. It's putting what I want, it's putting my well-being above everything else. Because again, it's the first thing I did when I wake up. That's what I mean when I say put yourself first, right? Not second, not third, not at the end of the day. Put yourself first, right? Number one. So that shift is definitely, I say, the biggest thing that I got and I benefited. Obviously, aside from the fat loss, that's definitely the main thing that I gained. It's just putting myself first and getting what I want out of life and making sure that I'm getting what I want out of life. And I think that's a mentality that a lot of you guys should definitely adopt if you haven't already, because it just makes your life better as well. Because a lot of times people will think that if you put yourself first, that means that obviously your work life will diminish, or your relationships will diminish, or your social life will diminish and get worse. No, it's actually the opposite. Because when you put yourself first, you're in a position of strength. And that's just going to make you more capable. You'll just be in a better place mentally, psychologically. You'll be able to think clearer. You'll feel better about yourself. And when you go out into the world, whether that's your work, your job, your relationships, social events, you'll have a different energy about yourself. You have a different charisma about yourself because you're taking care of yourself and you're doing that first. So you definitely want to start putting yourself first. So let's talk about the weight loss side of things, right? So obviously, again, I like to be efficient when I do things. I don't like to waste time. And I don't like to waste my energy doing things that aren't going to see any results. Again, you're busy, I was busy, and you want to lose body fat. So the way you're going to do that is, instead of thinking about adding things to your routine, what you need to start thinking about is removing things from your routine, right? Because the thing is that in order to add things, it's like your energy right now and your capacity, you're probably at max capacity. If not, you're probably over max capacity right now, right? You're probably waking up with no energy. So for you to sit here and try and add extra fitness and diet and meal prepping on top of that, and you already have no energy, you're setting yourself up to fail. So the first thing you need to do if you want to get in shape is start removing stuff. One, it frees up your schedule. Two, it gives you more energy. And three, it's the fastest way to make progress. Because instead of taking time away doing extra stuff, you're saving yourself time by removing stuff. You see? Efficient, right? So if you do want to get in shape, again, the first thing that I did when I was trying to get in shape, I looked at my diet, and instead of trying to add in something that's super healthy or trying to become some super head chef and create some super cooking menu for the week, all I did was I looked at my diet and I thought to myself, what can I remove so that way my diet will improve with as little effort as possible, right? That's the quickest way to improve your diet. It's just to look at it and pick one thing and stop eating that. That takes zero time. And it's only one thing. If you are overweight, there's probably a lot of different things that you're eating that you probably shouldn't be eating. If you just pick one thing and take that out, your diet's already better. You're already better than you were yesterday. And chances are, if you take that thing out for the next 2 weeks, chances are you'll probably drop weight just from taking out one thing that you're eating that you shouldn't be eating on a daily basis. It's really that simple. When I first started, I didn't think it would even make that big of a difference. It was just something to do to where I was obviously taking a step in the right direction. But I actually dropped weight just from removing one thing. Me personally, obviously, if you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm going to say. I decided I was eating a lot of cheese, and I decided I was just going to stop eating cheese, right? It's just one thing out of my diet I decided to remove. But I'm lying, I actually took out two things. I took out cheese and I took out honey as well. Man. But you get the point, right? Just pick something. And the reason why I took those two out, obviously, if you have fats and sugars together, that helps you to keep weight on. And obviously, I want to take weight off. So that's why I took out the cheese and the honey. And I was actually writing down my weight every day on the whiteboard when I first started. And I kid you not, I dropped 3 kilos, which is about 7 or 8 pounds in the first 10 days. And I wasn't even exercising at the time. Again, efficient, right? Other thing you should start doing is you need to start keeping track of what you're eating. When you know what you're eating and you're aware of what you're eating, it makes it very easy to know where you're going wrong and where you're going right. For me, I kept it simple. Literally, anytime I ate something, I just went to the notes on my phone and I just literally would just write down the time. So if it was 12:15 p.m., lunch, steak, 300 grams, I would just write it down, jot it down on my phone. I wasn't trying to, become a new person overnight. All I was doing was I took out one thing and I was just becoming more aware of what I was eating. A reason why tracking your food is so underrated and why it makes such a big difference is not because, you need to know exactly how many calories you're eating. And that kind of helps, but no. Reason why it makes such a massive difference is because it creates a mental shift. You go from just randomly mindlessly snacking, mindlessly eating whatever. You go from that to probably at least 5 times a day. Most of you guys are eating at least 3 meals, 2 snacks a day. Most of you guys are probably eating at least 5 times a day. If every single time you eat, you're writing down what you're eating, that means that every single time you eat, you're actively telling yourself and you're actively reminding yourself that you're on a fitness journey and you're trying to lose body fat. So when you repeat that day in and day out, you start to pay attention to what you're eating. And the other thing is that it creates accountability, but it creates it in a positive way, right? Instead of being super guilty and shameful, oh my goodness, I'm eating this, I'm eating that. You see, it's just the act of writing it down, because the thing is, you're not trying to be perfect, right? You just took out one thing that you don't want to eat, and then you write down everything that you have eaten. That way, at the end of the 2 weeks, you can look through what you eat, and then from there, then you can start improving your diet. You see, because what happens is that when you go through those 2 weeks and all you've done is write down what you're eating and you've only taken out one thing, what you find is that it's really easy to do. Again, it's minimal effort, it's super efficient. Removing one thing, it gives you more time, right? And writing stuff down literally takes about 5 seconds, right? So it's not gonna take any mental effort or energy to do that for those 2 weeks. But what will happen is that you're learning to be consistent and you're building discipline and you're doing it easily, right? Without putting a massive strain on yourself. And when you do that for the first 2 weeks, what you'll most likely notice is that the scale will go down, you will lose body fat. And because you haven't actually done much, what tends to happen during that time is you start to get excited about fat loss. You start to get enthusiastic about it because you're hardly putting any effort and you're already seeing results. It's when you start seeing that progress, that's when you really start to get motivated. That's when you start to feel energized. And that's when you start making more changes naturally, right? You just naturally develop those habits over time because you're seeing progress doing the little things. So just to sum it up, put yourself first and just start making really small changes. And that will give you the consistency and the momentum that you need to start making bigger changes. And that's when you'll really start to see that fat loss and you'll start feeling better about yourself and you'll start walking around with much better energy because you're putting yourself first. If you guys want to know the exact diet that I had while I was losing fat, then just like the video, or you can just hit us up on WhatsApp. And if you guys do need any extra help, just check the comments down below. We do offer one-on-one coaching if obviously you've been trying really hard and you still can't lose any body fat. But I hope this has been helpful, and I think the main thing to remember is just to always put yourself first. Until next time, guys, peace!